Salute wrestling friends, welcome to the Figure 4 TV. Hit that like button and let's get on with the show. So the sudden departure of Corey Graves from NXT has ignited a flurry of speculation within the wrestling community. Following a cryptic, now deleted tweet expressing sadness and frustration, Corey's exit has left fans and analysts alike searching for answers. Corey, who is a respected voice in professional wrestling, had become synonymous with the NXT brand. However, his departure coincides with recent changes to NXT presentation, shifting towards a more mainstream appeal. This had led some to speculate whether these changes contributed to Corey's decision. Adding to the intrigue, reports from Cinema Blend suggest that Graves' tweet hinted at feelings of being undervalued, particularly in light of Pat McAfee's prominent role on WWE Monday Night Raw. Known for his crossover appeal and popularity, has become a favorite within WWE, potentially leading to Graves feeling sidelined. This situation has prompted two main theories to Corey's departure. In a genuine expression of frustration stemming from a perceived emotion and lack of creative input, or it's a carefully crafted storyline designed to generate buzz. The silence from WWE regarding the circumstances surrounding Corey's exit has only fueled speculation. The lack of official statement has left fans to connect the dots, leading to various interpretations of the situation. This incident has also raised broader concerns about potential talent dissatisfaction within WWE. Corey's apparent frustration could be indicative of a larger issue within the company, prompting questions about how talent is valued and utilized. Pat McAfee has reacted to Corey's infamous tweet about what's going on underneath a screenshot of it online. Pat left a comment. In Pat's comment, he said, "Sounds like jealousy." People loved Pat's comment because it's a lot of people that feel like Corey is being jealous. And it was super unprofessional of him to say what he said online. The true reason behind Corey Graves' exit from NXT remains unclear, whether it's a planned storyline or a genuine display of discontent. The situation has undoubtedly captured the attention of the wrestling world and could have significant implications for WWE's future direction going forward. And this won't be the first time Corey Graves took the unprofessional route. If you guys can remember a long time ago, he's the reason why we lost Morrow, guys. But we're going to get into that. Before we get into that, let's go into what the Hall of Famer, Jim Ross, had to say about this. Because, believe it or not, AEW got this very same problem, guys. Because this problem comes down to the wrestlers versus the superstars. And that's a mindset. So even that concept plays out even with the commentators, because you have the commentators who have that wrestling background. They've been around wrestling all their life. All they know is wrestling commentary. And then you have those guys that have been in the MMA. They've been in the boxing world. They've been in the sports world. And then they get drafted on over to WWE. Those would be considered your superstars. So you see where you get that same conflict, where you get the wrestling mindset versus the superstar mindset. And the wrestlers just don't get it. Corey Graves will be considered the wrestling mindset. That's why the first thing he said was, we already have talent here. We already have Nigel McGuinness, and we have this person, and we have that person, and try to deflect from going out to get the superstars, which is going to bring more eyes to your product. And that's the same thing with the bigger athletes, right? You see how AEW, they can't sell a ticket because they got all the little guys in their ring. They shun the bigger athletes, the larger-than-life athletes, the superstars, and then they cater to the little guys. But let's hear what Jim Ross got to say, being that he worked on in both companies, and he had this done to him before. So let's see what he got to say.
Somebody who doesn't have life like they like it right now, apparently, is Corey Graves. I don't know if you saw this over the last few days, but as we're recording, it's Wednesday. I guess late Monday night, he jumped on Twitter and posted a tweet. And the gist of the tweet was...
He should be pissed about that haircut, but nonetheless, excuse me, go ahead.
He feels like he's been passed over for Pat McAfee. The idea being that he had his dream taken away from him, of course, being an in-ring wrestler.
Oh, God.
Handed the opportunity to be an announcer, did Raw, did SmackDown, and now being told, allegedly, according to Corey's Twitter feed, that he's not famous enough. So Pat McAfee's got the job and Corey's at home. Doesn't sound like you have a lot of sympathy for Mr. Graves. What say you?
Conrad, how many times has that happened to me?
Several.
Yes. And here I am, jolly, happy, healthy as the old horse, and I got nothing to bitch about. It's just part of the crazy. It's the lie. I remember this classic line from The Sopranos, where Tony was talking to his cousin Tony, and cousin Tony was talking about he wanted to start a massage parlor, a legit therapeutic massage parlor. And he just got out of prison, was trying to get his life started, but he needed some extra cash. The extra cash came in the form of a hit, as I recall. And he started complaining about that life. And this classic line was from Tony Soprano, "This is the life we chose." And is very synonymous with some issues in wrestling that many of us have gone through. So I feel badly that he's feels like he's been left behind, and maybe he has. But you can't. Would you trade Pat McAfee and his broadcast platform for Corey Graves? I wouldn't, just to be honest with you. And Corey Graves is probably more learned and has a better skill set as far as his internal knowledge than Pat McAfee. But Pat McAfee's got a platform that reaches from border to border. It's just he's got a huge footprint. And I applaud Pat McAfee for his entrepreneurship and his promotional instincts. So it's a good deal. But I wish it was. I wish he wasn't unhappy. I should say that. But man, I saw a tweet or an X or whatever you call it from Jonathan Coachman responding to your question.
Yeah.
And he said something that it's happened to JR 5 times.
Yeah.
I didn't keep track of it. I had no clue. I swear to God. It's not something you register. You want to you carry around with you like this real live memory. It's not something I like to remember. It's just they were bad days. And I was heartbroken. And I was angry. But I was not going to let people misjudging my talent and use that in my accent and my Bell's palsy. The shit that I overcome to be on television was, if I rethink it, I probably would have done something else, because the odds were so slim that I'd get back in that game in WWE. And at that time, that's what was available.
Really smart people that you and I are friends with in wrestling texted me when all this sort of came to light, I guess on Tuesday, and everybody was digesting it. And there was multiple people who said, so this is an angle leading to Pat McAfee and Corey Graves at WrestleMania. And I said, well, I don't think it started that way, but if Pat's up for it, and this is a heck of a way for Corey to manifest a WrestleMania moment for himself. I mean, he did want to be an in-ring performer.
Right.
Maybe that wasn't the original idea, but if that's the result, man, that'd be high fives all around, huh?
I'd be surprised if that happened. The responsibilities of the broadcast team, the broadcasters like Pat, who doesn't have years of experience, he's still, getting his footing. but doing a hell of a job. It's a load that day for the announcers. I've done WrestleMania, just Lawler and I. And now you got an army of broadcasters. You got a pregame show. You got a postgame show. You got multi-person desks. So 2 or 3 people at the desk, 4 sometimes. It's just, it's a crazy world in that. So that day is not the day you want to be adding new projects in a skill set that you're not totally versed in.
Well, we'll see what happens with Corey Graves. I for one, think Corey's been in the catbird seat with WWE for a long time. I mean, at times he was doing Raw and SmackDown, and I thought he did great work. I know there's been a lot of changes in WWE. They've had a 2-man booth. They've had a 3-man booth. Hell, they've even had a 4-man booth. They're back down to 2 now, but they do have Joe and they do have Pat, so they've got some brand recognition, if you will.
Yeah.
See what happens. I'm pulling for Corey.
And that right there might be our problem right there, Brother Conrad, because we always pulling for Corey. We all pull for Corey, and Corey ain't that great. He ain't that great of a person, guys. You see, we pulled for Corey back when Morrow was there. We didn't like JBL so much because of his character on screen. We didn't like him so much that we were willing to stick that on him. And it was not JBL. It wasn't JBL. It was Corey Graves, guys. So let's get into that. And this is why I do not think this is a storyline. In my personal opinion, I don't think this is a storyline. This is not a work. This is definitely a shoot, because this is what Corey do. He has a history of this.
Alright guys, so just a few days ago, Corey Graves sent out a tweet directed at Mauro Ranallo, basically criticizing his NXT TakeOver War Games performance, saying that he talks too much and that he should let Beth Phoenix and Nigel McGuinness have more input, which led Corey Graves to receive massive heat. And in my opinion guys, I don't agree with Corey's comments about Mauro Ranallo, because I'm sure Corey knows about the mental problems Mauro deals with, and I just think his tweet was very unprofessional. Instead of tweeting, he should have kept his comments to himself or just talk to Mauro Ranallo man to man, but instead he decided to go on Twitter to create more controversy.
As you can see, he always had a history of displaying non-man energy. I'm gonna call that non-male energy right there. Because when you run the Twitter, when you run the social media, that's what the women do. Like, let's stop playing. That's what women do. And what man do you know will just leave his job when he just had a baby? Like, bro, Carmella is not wrestling right now because she's on maternity leave, paternity leave. Guys, this better be a work. This better be a work. It better not be no shoot. Because think about it, guys. His brother put a tweet up saying that this is not a work. And he was cleared. He was cleared in 2022.
I miss certain aspects of it, but I've actually grown to love doing commentary. There's part of me that will never go away as a wrestler. I dedicated 15 years of my life and traveled the world and had tasted some success as a competitor. It took a long time and a lot of work and internal reflection to get to this point where I've now embraced my role and realized that this is my contribution to the business now. I may not be able to go down as one of the great intercontinental champions in history, which was kind of always my goal, but now I look at how broad my work has reached and how it still lives on in video packages and these moments, and some of the ridiculous stuff that I say ends up on t-shirts for other superstars. And I actually think I'm in a weird way leaving a bigger footprint as a commentator than I probably would have as a competitor, but I definitely miss it at times.
Well, there was this recent report out that you are now cleared for in-ring performance. Is that actually true?
It is factual. The news, for some reason, took about 8 months to break, which I'm sort of proud of and a little bit surprised in this day and age that I wasn't necessarily hiding it from anybody. It was just not something I was bringing to the forefront because I didn't want everybody to go, oh my God, Graves is making a comeback. Because to our previous conversation, I love what I'm doing now. But there is a part of me that would just love that gratification. I'm a guy who, when I was wrestling, was primarily a villain. And to me, the gratification came as soon as the bell rang at the end of the match, because to me, There is nothing more satisfying than taking the crowd on a roller coaster ride and then losing. As a good guy, you usually have to, you stand up and pose and you have to mug for the cameras, but I would lay there on my back after the ref counted 3, and I would be looking at the lights and just thinking, yep, we did it. And that to me was always what kind of kept me going. It was just like that exhale at the end of all of it, and that was the most rewarding to me. So there's part of me that's still going to chase that forever, and I would be open to it if the opportunity presents itself to maybe step back in the ring once in a blue moon, or maybe just once. But the important thing is I got medically cleared, and now I'm just kind of going to see where the world takes us, because if that's what's in the stars for me is another match, or if it's a mixed tag team match, or it's me versus Pat McAfee at some point, whatever it ends up being, at least now I know that I can do it without putting my health at long-term risk, which is above all the most important. I got to be there for my kids and my blushing bride.
So are they trying to set up a WrestleMania match between him and Pat McAfee? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, we'll see. If he ain't in the Royal Rumble, then I don't think that, I don't believe this is a shoot, guys. And think about it. This is the same thing Samantha Irvin did. And WWE, they didn't pursue Samantha Irvin. They didn't go on social media and say anything, because WWE is at a point where they don't want to make bad publicity. They want to keep everything calm and smooth. They ignore you. If anybody go to social media, it's going to be the artists. It's going to be the characters. And you see they go there and then they tweet. They tweet and delete. Once you press send, the internet is undefeated. It's undefeated.
This past Saturday, during the TakeOver War Games event, I sent out a tweet. It was an unpopular opinion, as I often do, with the intention of just stirring up a little controversy, maybe have something fun to talk about on TV or here on the show. It was maybe not the most professional way to go about things, and it was never meant to offend or disrespect or disparage anybody. That was never my intention. If it was taken as such, I apologize deeply. That was not my intention. I would never intentionally cause anybody any undue stress, especially a coworker. So I apologize.
So you see, Figure Fours, we forgave him before. He made a mistake and we forgave him. But it don't look like he learned from his mistake. It look like he took our forgiveness for granted. So now, those of you that is on Corey's side and want Corey to be back, let me know why you want Corey to be back. And I don't care if Pat McAfee is not as good as Corey, because at the end of the day, I'd rather have a quality person than a talented one. So now y'all let me know. Those of you that's on Corey Graves' team, let me know why. And those of you that's not on Corey Graves' team, put in why. Tell me why you feel he violated as a professional. I'll see you guys later. I hope y'all enjoyed the content, and I look forward to reading and chatting with you guys in the comment section. Hit that like button on the way out, guys. And also, check out the video that's going to pop up on the screen, because I doubt you saw it, because I put out so much content over here. Click into that now.
This is a wreck. He's moving like an uncaged animal.
No lie, he's wild in there.